Thursday night.
Thursday night?
Yeah.
I should also.
I know the song. I saw the song that you did.
Shiur Thursday night.
What song was it?
Rain.
I spoke to him a few times already.
Really?
Yeah.
Who is he?
Who's he not?
I mean,
What's his
my
name?
kids
Ty
don't.
Gersberg.
What?
Ty Gersberg.
Yeah.
He's good friends with my son.
I got
He's
to talk
buddies
to you
with
about
these guys.
I talk to you about a song after.
There's a certain chiddush that he has.
He certainly
I write a
does.
song? No. I deal with songs. I don't. Who?
Yeah, he wrote it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never wrote a song?
Oh, yes.
I have.
Okay.
More Shiur stuff.
How'd you get a hold of him?
He's friends with Momo. Momo's friends with everybody.
Oh, right.
I'm like, Momo, you know the guy?
Connector.
Huh?
Connector.
Oh, you just perked up.
What?
When you say Dove, it doesn't become connected? Believer?
Wait.
I
don't know if this is working. Can somebody go onto YouTube and...
Okay.
Right. Wait, you're early. Why are you starting?
Oh, I mean, officially it's 9:10. I kind of made it like a 9:15. Is it 9:15 or 9:10? It's 9:10.
I just telling people it's 9:15.
I know what he holds. Does anybody else want to say anything? Any rebuttal?
Almost everybody's here, so.
All right, you're live.
It was live also.
David Lawrence is going to walk out at
No,
9:15. He'll say, "Oh no, unless he's in Rabbi Shaar."
How'd they do it?
I have no clue.
He knows my
It's
schedule.
coming up. Look, this. Oh, it's on, but it says Rav Kook right now. Okay, whatever. It's on. We'll fix it afterwards.
Rav Kook says.
We're live.
All right, here we go.
It says Rav Kook.
Okay, don't worry. We'll do that afterwards.
Okay, Chabur is Lila Nishmas Aleya Sarah Basazev. Thank you to the Hirschkowitz family for sponsoring. Okay, so last week we started a new parak, a very exciting parak. They're all exciting, really, but as we work through Bitachon L'Maisa.
What page?
208. 208. Gematria, anybody? Yitzchak.
Not sure.
Almost there. Shabbos is 7:02. We're not going to get there ever. So we worked on Perek Dalet was L'Maisa, trying to draw it down to all different situations of life, detailed situations. We broke down life basically into 7 different categories and tried to break it down further. Now, the Chovos Vos in Perek Hey, in the 5th Perek, is teaching us, showing us, revealing to us the differences in reactions, ways of thinking, kavanas, that a Baal Bitachon will have versus a non-Baal Bitachon. And therefore it becomes like a litmus test for us to use these points of reaction, these notes that the Chovos Vos teaches us, to see where we hold. Never to depress, never to put us down, adrabah, to show this is a moment of bitachon and let's use it. Because people don't always know when to use bitachon, maybe, right? So here we're getting very clear instructions. So I'll just let's say over the first one from last week, because I want to ask a question immediately when we discuss the second one. So on page 206, sorry for going back. Page 206, on the bottom left, let's just look quickly at these 3 lines here. And I'll just read it in English. The first difference between, one who relies, one who is Baal Bitachon, and one who doesn't, the first difference, the person who relies on God willingly accepts his judgment in all matters, right? He accepts what a Kodesh Baruch Hu does, and he thanks him for both the good and the bad. We discussed this at length last week. And just to bring back, we're going to be using a little bit of I wouldn't normally do this, but it seems to be so clear to me for those who are familiar with the Sfiros, right? The world of the Sfiros, which the Chovos Vos is not dealing with at all. But for those who are, it will be a very nice fusion. This is the Sfira accepting the judgment is Malchus, Makabel Ol Malchus Shemayim, and to thank is Hod, right? We will get back, for those who know the order, there's a glaring question, what about Yesod? We'll get back to Yesod. But again, to read clearly, the first difference is the person who relies on God willingly accepts his judgment in all matters. He sees everything coming from the Kodesh Baruch Hu, and he surrenders to it, he accepts it, and not only that, he thanks him for it. Kashem shemevarach al hatov, mevarach al hara. Says the Mishnah, we learn in the Gemara, just like one thanks the Kodesh Baruch Hu for the good, he should also thank him for the not so good. Good? Now turn to page 208. V'hasheni, right in the middle of the page. V'hasheni, the second difference, ki haboteich belokim nafsho b'menucha v'libo shaliv mitzad gzeros, ledaito ki habore yanhigen letovaso b'olamo v'achrisa. The second difference, when a person relies on God, his soul and heart are at ease with respect to all of God's decrees due to his knowledge that the Creator directs them for his good, both in this world and in the world to come. Versus the non-Baal Bitachon, who obviously his heart is not at ease. So again, I want to just read it, not saying anything extra, just saying the words. The second difference, when a person relies on God, his soul and heart are at ease with respect to all of God's decrees due to his knowledge that the Creator directs them for his good, both in this world and the world to come. Clear definition of bitachon. Bitachon means menuchas nefesh. Bitachon means, right, you acknowledge that a Kodesh Baruch is doing this for my best. Good? No chidushim. My question is, what's really different than the first one we read? Right, a person who's a Baal Bitachon on page 206, he relies on God, willingly accepts his judgment in all matters, and thanks him for the good and the bad.
That's the point. Thanks. It would seem that this should go first.
I mean, of course, he doesn't say the word thanks in the second one, but first of all, you would think, A, that this is the lowest madrega and we're working our way up, which that's what you're asking.
I think the opposite. I think the first one, you have to kind of work through it a little bit, and you get to the point where you accept it. Here, it's like automatic. Second point is like you just, whatever it is, you just accept.
What's the difference? So these are different, two different people? Two different levels of bitachon. The first one is the lower level, and he thinks to fight it, but he says, no, you know what? He overcomes it. And the second one, he's already on a higher level where he doesn't have to fight it anymore.
As it comes to him.
It just comes to him. So, I'm just pointing out is that the Chovos HaLevavos is saying these are differences between a Baal Bitachon and not a Baal Bitachon. L'chayr, it's the same person, not necessarily a process. Even though, of course, I hear what you're saying. And that.
So which ones are not Baal Bitachon?
This is the same guy, really. This Baal Bitachon, he accepts judgment in all matters and thanks him, and he also his heart is at ease in respect to all decrees.
So what are you saying? What's the difference?
Just between the first two, the first difference and the second difference. Is it good to say? No, he's saying over there that the person's calm is coming because he knows that Kodesh Baruch is doing good for him, even for Olam Haba purposes. I mean, both people, the goal is, of course there's differences, but the goal is to get to a place of menuchas nefesh, right? This chapter, I want to keep bringing out again, it's so important, is that we're going to learn how to react. This is like, that's a good reaction. Very good. How many reactions a day do we have? Endless. Every moment is a reaction, really, to that moment. And if you put a child there, or a wife there, or a business deal, or a HaKadosh Baruch Hu there, or a Gemara, and then it becomes complicated. Many millions of reactions every day, plus complications. So we're going to learn in this parak about how to react, or how Baal Bitachon reacts, and understand, again, where we're holding is so important to lock into this parak. If we can master reactions of life, you've mastered life. Mastered life. Because it's always that first second. Those who have worked on themselves, if you could conquer that first moment, not that it's peaches, but might not go off the deep end. Versus if you miss that first moment, you're going to end up 6 miles from where you're supposed to be. Right? So we want to catch that first moment. That's what we're dealing with over here. What I think, and everybody's saying different good answers, this is just my own opinion, is that
Can you really?
I found over the time that we've been learning this together that we have these 7 principles, right, that define why. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I find at different times that different ones help more. So you go through, okay, I'm good now. Whichever one it may be. So maybe that's not the way it's supposed to be, but this is what works. So maybe what's happening over here is the happy-go-lucky guy and the always grateful person are also the same person. It's like you feel an elephant, right? 70 people standing around an elephant. Everybody has a different perspective of it, but you end up in the same place. So maybe the happy-go-lucky guy and the always grateful guy end up in the same place. They're just coming at it from different perspectives, from something that works for them. I don't know.
Not disagreeing at all. I am just going to try now to be very clear in what's going on. Maybe that's one thing that I try with Siyata D'Shmaya. It's not coming from me. Is that when we're learning to be extremely clear in, hopefully we're right in what he's saying, but just clear in messaging, so we come out with something, a real way to act, a real way to react, proact, whatever. Parenthetically, not to happy-go-lucky, I don't know, throws me off a little bit, but the difference here is this is the sphere of Netzach. Okay? This is the sphere of Netzach. It's a little bit what Daniel said. Every moment, nothing has to be grand. We don't need some big judgments here. Every moment is a Shas Nisayim of how you're going to react to that moment. It could be partially you wake up and it's a little too cold, right? And therefore, oh man, it's cold today. Like you go in like a down. We do this thousands, hundreds of thousands of times a day. We're constantly, incessantly, uncontrollably judging every single moment. Basically from what I want. I want it to be perfect temperature. I want it to be perfect. So if it's better, great. If it's not, down. And sometimes it's more obvious on our face, on the way we react outwardly. And sometimes we don't even know we're making these reactions and these judgments. It's happening every second. You could walk into a room. No one's there. One person's there. 3 people are there. What's the temperature of the room? What's the lighting in the room? Who's there? And what time is it? Am I late? Billions every second. And we just go on like that all day long. When we live in a world of high level, we'll say, bitachon, it's bitachon, but it's high level because we have to get there. Bitachon is the belief and the trust that every single moment, mamish, without any exception, doesn't matter what's going on, is tailor-made from a Kodesh Baruch Hu for each and every single person who deals with that, who's involved in the situation. And it's obviously for my best. Hashem's running it, right? All the seven conditions who Kodesh Baruch Hu is. He knows better than me. Even if I don't understand it, even if I'm a sinner, I can still trust in him. It's for my best. He knows me. And therefore, my heart should be at ease every moment. He relies on God. His soul and heart are at ease with respect to all of God's decrees. Not these big judgments, a big money thing, a big health thing, a big ruchnius thing, the big stuff. We need to like hunker down and be makabel, o malchus shemayim, and even come to the place of hodah, which is a big avodah. This is moment to moment. The Baal B'tachon lives moment to moment in a different olam than other people. He's constantly at ease with respect to all of God's decrees. Why? Because we've learned this. Because B'tachon is based on the belief and the trust, and as we bring it down from our head into our heart, that the Creator directs every single situation for His good, both in this world and in the world to come. There's no exception. So it doesn't matter what the temperature is. You go in your menatseach. Doesn't go back to netzach. You don't need the spheres, but I'm just, for those who understand, you're being menatseach of every moment. Because every moment is a battlefield. See, most people live, there's like the humdrum of life, and then like there's a big nisyonos. Getting up in the morning is a big nisayon, or he has to deal with this business, it's a big nisayon, or with this kid, it's a big nisayon. But everything else is just like whatever, basic life, and yeah, we win some, we lose some, fine. But the big nisyonos, that's level 1. But the Baal B'tachon says every single moment is from Kodesh Baruch Hu. Every single moment. There's no exceptions. There's no big versus little. Every moment is an Yisayim. And every moment is an opportunity for me to be Menatzeach. So this person he's not taking in information, Daniel was saying. He doesn't have to take it in and like assess. He has a sword of B'tachon that he's walking through life and just chopping down every moment. Latov. With ease.
He's not ignoring anything. He's not just...
Everyone is God's moment.
Is that so? When circumstance happens, we react. Let's go. When something comes to me, I react to it. So I think I want to just clarify what you're suggesting is that we're actually not reacting. That highest level It just
It's
is.
like proacting. If that's a
Is
good
it
word.
Is it proactive?
I don't know what that word means.
Well, no. That
It sounds like the opposite.
No, it's actually very valuable.
Meaning I'm taking
right.
bitachon.
Right.
Bitachon is the
and
knowledge.
You're plowing through the world. You're plowing through the world.
Confidently, happily, because every moment's a Kodesh Baruch. Kodesh Baruch runs the world, and He does it for my best, and He loves me. Right? Again, all of that we learned in the first few prakim, the 7 conditions that Moshe was speaking about, I'm living that every moment.
But that's not going to work out sometimes.
Could be.
No,
There's always exceptions.
I was saying, it's like if you want your adrenaline to kick in, it can't be based on being always calm that everything's coming from HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
There are. This is like
adrenaline doesn't kick in if you just calm.
There's different. This is the main way to live. Almost always. There are always going to be exceptions where you need more adrenaline or you do need to be sad. But the Baal Bitachon, if he really masters it, I believe, will know how to kick into high gear because the Kodesh Baruch Hu wants me to have the adrenaline.
But you might be able to assess it afterwards.
It could be.
Be comfortable with what happened.
We need to do our best.
You're just leaning into life as opposed
as a human
to
being, you can't be somebody who's just always.
But if we could do that 90% of the time, then we'll be living better than we are right now. And you're right, there is going to be exceptions. 100%, there will be exceptions, nothing to do. But it's better to live, I think, 90% properly and then 10% have to assess afterwards.
It's not necessarily improper to be otherwise, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought that situation to you.
Correct.
In order for you to have that reaction.
Correct. And then to assess it, and then to get better the next time, and then, yeah. And that's life. That's life.
Are you saying then that at the highest possible level, let's call it this happy-go-lucky, is all the time, 100% of the time, is the sort of the ultimate.
If there be such a thing like that, I don't know. David Melech is David Melech is one of the top, yeah?
Yeah.
His son is chasing to kill him. Shaul is chasing to kill him, and he's davening, he's thanking the Kodesh Baruch for that. So yeah, David Melech is, if you look at him as the epitome of Bitachon, yes. We have to just do our avoda and take.
No, I understand.
Yeah. Look at David Melech as the as the epitome. He's really the top. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, that's what I think this madrig is working out.
Yeah.
And it takes a vote.
It's being like this, or being like this. I don't know if I.
Yeah, yes, but not like that, mamish, but like a soft, yeah.
No, you can live like this.
Right.
You can live like this.
Right.
You can live like this.
Yeah, that's.
And you're suggesting living like this.
Right. This is.
Got it.
This is. Good luck to you. This is Amuna.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is Bitachon.
I got it.
Yeah. For those who get those hand motions. This is being reactive to life. Everything is just hitting you. You're just getting smashed around and trying to make the best of it, floundering. Standing up straight is Amun. Everything's from the Kodesh Baruch Hu. I might not be happy with it, but it's. And Bitachon is, I'm living calmly through everything in life because I trust at this moment this is from the Kodesh Baruch Hu and it's for the best.
And it's a
as much as we can.
It's a soldier-like quality. In other words, like a soldier lives in a state. Well, it depends. Like elite units work like that, live like this. They're not like this.
Okay, you could use that marshal. I mean, Bitachon is definitely the higher level. It's not the regular army; it's higher. The Moon is the regular army. Bitachon is the elite guys. If you want to use that marshal, yeah. Yeah,
it's just an elite state. Like they're in a constant state of readiness. When they wake up in the morning, they're just ready to move.
Ready to conquer.
They're not sitting. They're not even sitting like this. They're sitting like this because they got their gear on.
I think with Bitachon, the way that we've been learning, and we're really getting into it, you can conquer life.
Yeah.
Not just live life. You conquer
you
with the Kodesh Baruch Hu, not at a gaiva.
You never want to hear somebody. The saddest comment I ever hear from somebody, if I ever say, "How you doing? Surviving," it breaks my heart. I never want to hear that.
You got to teach them survival tools.
What?
You got to teach them the survivor skills.
Right. You want to turn survive. When you hear somebody's thriving, right?
Thriving.
Not right. It's not even surviving, living. It's thriving. So you get that state.
The second difference: when a person relies on God, if a person relies on God, he's holding by Bitachon. His soul and heart are at ease with respect to all of God's decrees. He's always most of the time, he's in a very happy state, very calm and happy state. A person who knows that everything that God does is for the good can feel at peace, knowing that he's in good hands. Proactively, constantly, confidently, It has to be worked on before the day starts. You need to learn bitachon, and then you need to have like the bitachon meditation in order to then go into it. And you might need to lock into that a few times a day. But if we can get this, you become unstoppable. Again, God unstoppable. You're just a messenger of Kodesh Baruch. We're not no gaiva here. Adam, you become very humble. You become humble, but you become humble, not a pushover. There's a lot of everything has you're not a doormat. You're humble. K'mo she'amar David alav shalom. David HaMelech says, "Ach lelukim domi nafshi ki mimenu tikvasi." As King David, of blessed memory, says in Tehillim, "Only to God should you hope, my soul, for my hope is from Him." My hope is from Him. You could say, if you want to speak a little deeper, a little machshava, maybe a little chassidus, "Ach lelukim domi nafshi." Lelukim is the Shem Hashem of din. David says, "Lelukim." There's no in my world. There's no lelukim. It's only Yirmi. It's only Tov. To Elokim, my heart is quiet because I hope in a Kodesh Baruch. I hope in the Yud Kei Vav Kei Hayehoviyah. So it's always good.
That's why he says Kirvis Elokim.
Yeah, why? Kirvis Elokim Litov. Oh, even in that. Yeah. Not just when it's objectively good. Even when it looks not so good, I'm still closeness to Kodesh Baruch is the best. Vasher, he says. Vasher Inenu B'Teach Elokim. Listen to this. But a person who's not the Baal Bitachon, who bitsa'ar tadir, he's constantly in a state of tsa'ar. Tsa'ar doesn't mean acute pain. Tsa'ar could be a low-lying pain. People don't even realize that they're in constant pain because they become numb to it. People don't even realize the state they're in because they become accustomed just to their state. What?
It's narrow.
Narrowness.
It's not a thing.
They don't even realize what could be. Udaiga aruka ve'evel ve'etziv lo yomushu mimenu betova ubira'a. Listen to this. Conversely, a person who does not rely on God is frequently, even though tadir it is frequent, very frequently, in a state of grief and anxiety, daiga's worries, mourning, mourning, ve'etziv, and sadness. Atzus. I just want to read it again. Conversely, a person who does not rely on God is frequently in a state of grief and anxiety, mourning and sadness will not depart from him. Both when things are going well for him and when they're not. You thought he was going to say when things are not going well. When they're going well, he's still in a state of mourning and sadness and daigas. That's a horrible life. Last week we learned the Chazal we started today. Kishem shemavarach alha tov mevarach hara. Just like you're obligated to bless a Kodesh Baruch, thank him for the good, even to get to the madrega to thank him for the bad. Here, Habitachon is kishem sheyesh, lo daiga bira. Just like this guy has daigas in when it's ra, which we understand. He also has daigas when it's good. We katza. His life is just one big bowl of daigas.
Isn't that a little dangerous, though, to say? Because if you say this, then you would think that if I'm okay when things are good, and I'm only not okay when things are not good, so, then I guess I'm a Habitachon. Here he's saying that, right? Because you're saying if things are good, then this guy thinks it's not so good. He still has a problem with it. He's still sad. He's still...
This guy, yeah.
Right. But if it's bad, he for sure is,
Pretty obvious, right?
So that's a non-Habitachon. So somebody looking at this can say, "Oh, but if I'm happy when things are good, meaning I'm not that guy I just described, then I must be a Habitachon."
We answered that question last week. That's why we ended the Shiur last week a little bit with this. We're going to pause. I was going to listen to the last 10 minutes and he didn't tell us. Last week we said we were going on the madrega that the person, first level, is that he willingly accepts his judgments in all matters, good and bad, and thanks him for both the good and the bad.
Right.
So if you have a person who only thanks a Kodesh Baruch Hu for the good but can't handle the bad, he's not a Habitachon.
Right.
So what's he thanking for? It's all his guy. It's a joke.
Right.
He's not really thanking Kodesh Baruch Hu. It's fake.
Nonsense. What about this guy?
No.
This next.
No, it's the same. It's the same person. It's the same person. I don't think it's.
Okay.
But even to the degree, here the Chiddush is really on the other side. Here the Chiddush is on how bad, how low state of a person could be. But I'll go upon him. So you have this person, the Habitachon, everything's at ease, good and bad, and then the guy who's not the Habitachon could potentially be in a state where nothing is good enough. Nothing's good enough. If you're not menatzeich of every moment, every moment is an sign for you. You could look at the weather, and you could go a little bit down. Because you have to go to shul. It's hard enough for you to go to shul already. I have to find my coat. Where's my coat? Oh, my coat's. Where did my kids put my coat? And then you know where it can go. Right? You could just take off. You lose one week, lose all the one. Everything becomes anxiety and grief because the weather was a little bit off. That just like the whole world exploded in your little world. The coffee was a little bit too hot. The coffee was a little bit too cold. The coffee spilled a little bit. Drop on the table. Kol Shekem happens at work. And then by the end of the day, so many moments we've lost already because we haven't utilized bitachon. Don't be a kid in that guy's house, right? If I was going to bite his head off. What do you mean you didn't do your homework? Right, whatever, you understand. Because we have so many losses during the day. So this person, everything could be off by this person. Again, it could start okay, but even that guy, even if it starts okay, it's not good enough. Could have started better. And we're gonna get back to that. We're gonna go back into that in a second. But I'll just tell you. Let me can I have the Chumash for a second? Yesterday by Mincha. We were laning. I was like, whoa. You want to see Bitachon? Ready for this? I mentioned one of these Ramazim last year, in Parshas Noach, Lech Lecha. Right, the Ramaz I mentioned last year, if you remember, was Avram Avinu was told to leave. How old is he when he leaves? 75. It's Gemash Bitachon.
Oh wow!
I remember I mentioned that last year. But let's read this pasuk. You ready for this? Because Avram Avinu is the Habitachon extraordinaire. So Kodesh Baruch tells him to leave. Leave everything you've ever known. Avram Avinu goes with bitachon. He's not upset, not an iota. He goes because the Kodesh Baruch says to go. Because it's for my best. Kodesh Baruch Hu knows me. Vayelech ito Lot. Who goes with him? Lot. Hishtadlus, we'll say. Right? Lot is the hishtadlus aspect. So now, Babal bitachon, because bitachon needs hishtadlus. Va'avram ben Chamesh Shana v'shivim Shana. Avram Avinu is 75 years old. But say so mecharon. He's 75. Babal bitachon. But say so mecharon. When he leaves Charon. The Chazal Darshan Charon is Charon Af. Because Charon Af, anger. What are you angry about? It's not good enough. This is bad. A person's life is this guy that we're talking about here. He's living a life of Charon Af. Nothing's good enough. So when Avram Avinu has Balbi, when he's bitachon 75, and he leaves Charon, you leave all the Charon Af behind. Where does he go? Canaan, Hachna, goes to a place of Anava. This is the remnants over here.
What did you mean by Hishtadlus? I don't understand that.
I shouldn't have thrown that in, but
right, so
I mean, in the world that we've learned that many times, just we're not discussing it now. In the world of bitachon,
why Lot Hishtadlus?
Because Lot's is the one who's involved with the money, and he's the goof, and he's everything is.
But isn't his efforts Hishtadlus? Like the fact that he's getting
that's why it's confusing.
I don't want to go there.
I'll discuss it afterwards.
Yeah.
I'll explain to you my crazy mind. Doesn't mean I'm right.
Okay.
Not only that, Rashi tells us, and we know Avram Avinu has 10 tests. We know. What were the 10 tests? So you're going to tell me, Lech Lecha, jumping into a furnace, Kekedes Yitzchak, Sarah dying, you're telling all these tests.
Hashem's testing.
What was the test of all the tests? What was the true test of them all? Rashi says it more than once.
No, the first move.
See, when we look at the tests, we're always looking at the action. Right? Do this, go to Mitzrayim, jump into a furnace, take your son to the Akedah, which is true. But it's not fully true. Because the tests were not just physical actions. What is the real test of Avram Avinu? And it was really all the Avos. All Sefer Bereshit is based on this. No?
Hashem?
Of course, but will you be Maharher Acharav? Mahar means, will you think badly of a Kodesh Baruch Hu? Every test, the real test was, what was Avraham Avinu thinking? What was his reaction when he got the test?
You talking about after the fact?
No, when he got the test, that was the true test.
The reaction to the
avoda.
Right, so Hashem took away Habitachon during the test.
No, don't get fancy.
Okay.
Don't take away Habitachon. We're not Baal Shem Tov
At
yet.
the moment where he's...
Hashem says, take your son to the Akedah and kill him.
Let's go.
That moment of reaction is Avraham going to be Mahar Achra? You crazy?
He didn't argue, he just... Soldier.
That's going very deep.
We
already talked about that.
You're going to drushes, Pashim Shat. You have to, if you want, we'd have to learn every single sign according to Bitachon. You can't bring in, from the Blueshiv or something.
We talked about that from the Lashon of Akedah, that he had a taina, and he said, and you, Rebbeinu Shalom, he said, I can't even say this right, you, Rebbeinu Shalom, would not have anything to answer me.
But that was after the fact, though.
Yeah. We have to stay in the world we're in. There's 70
that you have to be the simple to get the nevuah.
Oh, so that's a good vark. I heard that once. I forgot who said that. Okay, now we're getting really off topic, but Avraham Avinu B'Shas HaKed is Mom's about to kill his son. Before he does it, he gets a nevuah from the Malachim. Stop. The Gemara tells us, Chazal tells us, you can only get a nevuah if you're b'simcha. If you're not b'simcha, you can't get a nevuah. Avraham is about to kill his son. Hara, he said he was even b'simcha in that moment, showing his madrigas. But bring it all back. I'm happy everybody's on fire. That's great.
How could you listen to the Malach in any event? The Rav of the Talmud. The Malach is a Talmud of the Rav, which is the Ron Shalom. How could you even listen?
Okay, so we'll get to that next week's parsha. We'll discuss it. We'll get to that next week's parsha.
But to integrate my muscle of a soldier, because that's the position, Hashem gives him the command. Soldier doesn't. An elite soldier doesn't sit in question. And
we don't know what he does, but he
can't.
See, you don't know, because even if a person goes and does the action, you don't know what he's thinking in his heart, right? A person can do an action, but in his heart the whole time, this is crazy. I don't want to do this. Why am I doing this? But he has to, because either he'll get fired, because whatever.
Well, some of the
Ovos, Kodesh was made on the Ovos Avraham Avinu. They were never Mahar Achrav. That means they were holding it at the Madrega of when a person relies on God, his soul and heart are at ease with respect to all of God's decrees due to his knowledge that the Creator directs them for his good, both in this world and the next world. He was constantly living with that.
It doesn't mean it wasn't hard. It doesn't mean it wasn't hard.
I'm not passing on him part of it. We don't have to, what's it called? To give compliments out of him. He was the Gadol Gadol and the Tzaddik. Everything was whatever.
What kind of test would it be if it wasn't her?
Whatever it was. I'm just saying that the test of all tests is Mahar Achrav, and you have to be Habitachon to leave the Charon Af if you're going to have any chance. Right? Every time a person, he doesn't like what the situation and he's upset, it's a little Charon Af. You're being Mahar Achrav Hashem, basically. Kodesh Baruch Hu makes every moment. You're not happy with that moment. Mahar Achrav. Okay, Kodesh Baruch Hu doesn't judge us, and it's okay. Don't worry. We have to work on ourselves, but this is the madrigas of Avraham Avinu.
Isn't a higher madriga to say, I don't understand this, but I'll be ashamed because if you're telling me to do it, I'm going to move forward, as opposed to just saying, okay, you said so, I'm okay with it.
No, I don't think it's like that. I hear what you're saying, and I'm good with it because I know it's for my best. It's high.
Which means that
your madriga is zero.
Which means that I don't have to say that if I always feel that way.
Aaron didn't say anything. He just did. You're right. He didn't say anything. He just did. He did it exactly according to this. He knew it was good. It was okay. He just went. Again, these are high madrigas. But for us normal people who are just trying to be normal and deal with the weather, and our coffee spilling or our kids talking back to us or whatever, we have to just know that our reactions are very, very dependent or can be dependent and controlled properly with Habitachon. Can be. There are other ways to go. Person cannot work on Habitachon at all, and he can work on his kas, he can work on his savlanis, and also control a lot of reactions, of course. But Habitachon is like a key klali. It's like a big key that can open many, many, many doors. What are we talking? You don't have to go to savlanis and kas and hakpada and gaiva and taiva. You can get this huge key that can open up many doors. So let's go weiter. So because we're talking about a person, if he doesn't rely on God, he's frequently in a state of grief and anxiety, mourning and sadness. He's mourning. And people don't even realize because we're not sensitive to our own emotions, because we're always doing in life. Okay? We're not sensitive to our own emotions and our own inner feelings, the real ones, not the superficial ones, the real ones, because we're so busy doing in life, we're never listening to ourselves. So we don't even know that we're potentially, frequently, in a state of grief, anxiety, mourning, and sadness. It's only when it comes out and you break down, when you lose yourself, when you overload, when you're overwhelmed, then we know you've gone too far. That doesn't happen in a minute. Overwhelmed means you've been whelmed for so long that you became overwhelmed. It could be years a person's whelmed. Again, I'm joking, obviously. I don't think that's a word. Right? It literally could be years. And then just one straw that broke the camel's back. But that back was for many years. It could be we don't even know what true simcha is. How do you know? Maybe not. Maybe we don't even know what true daiga, worry, pain is. Maybe we are mourning in a certain way every single moment. You just don't know what that feels like because we've just felt it for our entire life. We need to stop. We need to breathe. We need to think about Habitachon. We need to think about what's really going on. We have to take this again as a litmus test to know where we're holding, to even know what we need to do, to use, to work on it. Maybe to speak it out with somebody. It's very important also to have a friend, a chaver. This is just Kodesh Hashem klolos. To speak it out with a good friend if you have somebody, because you might not realize where you're holding. And your friend's like, hey, buddy, what's wrong? You're like, nothing's wrong. You ever get that? You get it from your wife all the time, right? What's wrong? You're like, what do you mean? What's wrong? Everything's great. He's like, no, you don't look right. You're not walking right. You're like a little off. It's like, no, everything's great. And then if you keep talking to him, it comes out something was bothering him at work. He didn't realize that it was in his system because it's so common. He didn't realize. But your friend picked up on it because, right, the friend sees the face. By your friend, he sees the face. By you, it's the pinin. It's too deep inside, right? Pinin, panim, different time. But we don't even realize where we're holding until someone calls us out on it. Usually Kodesh Baruch sends our wives to do it. And then we deny it, and then we get into a fight. Like, no, we're talking about why you're judging me. No, she's like, I just see on your face that you're just not happy. And I just want to know that it's not for me. I think that was a big Shalom Bayis share in 5 seconds. We don't realize. It's so important in the world of Habitachon to slow down. Not, again, as we know, Habitachon is not just, when I need money, I'm going to dive into Kodesh Baruch. That's minimizing Habitachon by like 8 billion%. Habitachon is every moment, because the Kodesh Baruch Hu is every moment. Now, we can't get crazy to judge ourselves every single moment, to try to feel every moment, but at least give ourselves the opportunity to feel a little bit. What am I feeling now? What's going on today? Before I go to work, what's going on? What's that tightness? What is that? Usually we feel it, we just ignore it, and we just go on. It's happened 1,000 times. Well, what is that? Where's that coming from? Am I nervous about something at work? Am I nervous about something in the money? What is it? Because only if you get to it can you actually use Habitachon. Habitachon doesn't work. It doesn't work. In the morning you say, okay, Kodesh Baruch Hu, everything's going to be great. Let's go. That'd be great if that just worked the whole day. It doesn't. Over time, you can build up to that. But we need to get into the nitty-gritty of life. We need to get into the trenches of our emotions. We can't pretend. We're learning Habitachon. We can't pretend like, okay, that's it. So I'll believe that a Kodesh Baruch Hu runs the world and everything's for my best. That's it. Everything will be great. That's not really, really how it works. We have to get into the nuances. First, we need to learn the bigger picture, and then, because if you don't have the tools, then what's the point of getting into the nuances? You're just going to beat yourself up. At least you have now tools, Habitachon tools. So now, if you do find something with yourself, now you know how to use it. And even if you can't fully get rid of it, at least you've connected to it. And now you can speak to somebody if you need. This is all part of Habitachon. Can be. To menatzech over every moment. It's gewalt. And it doesn't have to be like a heavy battle, like you're an elite guy with like a sniper every single second. That's not what it means either. It's adrab. It's actually a calm. That's what it's like. But you have to acquire it through learning about it, through thinking about it, through wanting it, through davening for it, and through life and taking some hits and reassessing, coming back, and then starting the day again. But anybody who's worked on it, I know many people have, and I've spoken to many people, they're gaining ground. They're gaining ground. It used to be that they were getting knocked back a lot of life, and now they're starting to stand tall. They're even starting to push forward.
Just the realization that you could do it.
It's every nuance is so important.
Is it related at all to when a person has a drink and is feeling relaxed and lets things go, and that's a fake way of getting it done? Is it similar that the feeling you're describing?
Okay, so if you're asking if it's a drug, it is a drug.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying, sometimes somebody one has a drink, and you chill and you finally take it easy, and everything's not drawing you crazy.
It's different because there's mindfulness.
Influence.
No. He wasn't saying
The difference is that
the
there's
alcohol.
mindfulness.
He's just saying is that feeling.
It's not an outside influence.
No. He wasn't saying outside influence. He was not saying that.
Okay,
Right?
said the drink.
He's just saying is the feeling once you've had that drink, and the drink could come from a mind state. It had nothing to do with the drink. You missed this point.
You have to. You know what? What I tell people, try it.
Yeah.
I mean,
What,
you know
a
what the
drink?
drink? No, that you already tried. That you know already. I'm talking about that.
How'd that work out for you?
Yeah, it didn't work out. You have to try to know if there's a similarity, but it's
It's
not
a good
really
muscle.
similarity.
It's not so bad if you just.
I don't. It's
No,
it's,
just eliminate the fact that it was alcohol.
Is it a good muscle?
No,
honestly,
eliminate the alcohol part.
It's not kedai.
No, eliminate the alcohol part.
it's
Well,
not-
it's not. No. He's just asking about
I don't
the
know.
state of mind. It says,
I know what
here,
he's saying.
go have a drink,
Different
chill
way.
out. So then you have the drink. He's not saying have the drink.
No, I know what he's
get
saying.
to that.
But I don't know if there's a. I don't know if
That's not real though.
So therefore,
No. You're getting caught up with the drink.
No. It's not with the drink.
Look, you can see this.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
You missed it.
Yep.
Let's say I said to you, yes. Let's just play this out, right? Let's calm down.
Yeah.
Calm down, everybody. Let's say I said yes. It's a similar feeling. I'm just asking. I'm not challenging you. Therefore, what?
Therefore, that's a little bit of motivation. If you could say to somebody, you know what it's like when you just have a little drink and the whole world isn't bothering you? Because the rabbi was describing before that you don't realize you're walking around.
Okay, there's a pause.
Realm.
Pause. So how about this? Instead of using the drink, Marshall, how about have you ever taken 65 degrees outside? Okay, everybody pick a little degrees. Walking outside, nothing's bothering you. You're on vacation. You're with your wife, your kids, and it's a perfect, beautiful day. And you just walk around. You sit down on a bench, and you can breathe, and you feel amazing. You ever feel that before? It's like that. You don't have to go to the drink. I'm saying I know what you're saying.
He does have a point. I mean,
I'm not saying not.
The idea of drinking as part of being not instead of happiness, but enhancing the happiness.
It's a different Indian.
No, because I'm saying sometimes you
We just had a
realize.
partial last yesterday. We have to be careful with the drinking.
I'm just saying sometimes you realize you're whelmed, as you call it.
No, I know what you're saying.
before,
That's what I'm saying.
And sometimes you have a drink and you chill, you take it
I'm
easy.
just saying
and you
you-
should be able to do that naturally. So that's what
right. So I'm just comparing your emotional. It's a nicer way to compare it to a nice, beautiful day where you're really at ease. Good.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
Okay, Paige. Let's finish. Let's go by there.
Whatever it gives it to
And
you.
by the way, I get a better menucha Shabbos morning, waking up early, learning in the backyard.
That's the best.
That's the best.
If you've never woken
For
up
me.
early Shabbos morning with a
Yeah.
coffee at the hill
Oh,
and
yeah.
outside,
Sit in the backyard.
there's
That's
few pleasures of life that are better than that.
Oh, I'm not the only one.
No, you're not the only one. 209. Let's go. We got to finish up over here. Even when things go well for him, this person is not a Habitachon. Even when things go well for him, he's not happy or calm. Betova, when things are good, when things are going well for him, this person is not a Habitachon. When things are going well, he's making money and it's a nice day and his kids seem to be, obedient. He is sad and anxious, grief maybe, because of his lack of satisfaction from his current state of being. He's not satisfied. And because of his aspirations to add, increase, and amass wealth. That could be one's dependent on the other. He always wants more. Bitachon calms calms you down. Bitachon controls us. You don't always have to go more and better weather and better vacations and more money and even better ruchnias. We conquer this moment. Over this moment. Is this moment good? Just breathe. You're good. You need more. If you want more, we've discussed many times, you're in a dangerous zone. Because if you want more, remember the cheshbon we made. If you want more, that means you don't have it, right? Very simple. If you want more, whatever we're talking about, you don't have it. When you don't have something, now you're subject to a lot of klipas. I should have more. I expect to have more. I deserve to have more. This is not good anymore because I could have more. How many people say, I want more? Again, I want more, which is definition. I don't have it now. You know, that's okay. That's cool. Whatever. Maybe I'll get it one day. Kodesh, well, you don't have to give it to me. It's okay. It's all right. Because I don't really deserve it. Are there people who do that? Of course there are people who do that. But how many people? Very few. The second you want more, you're already in the danger zone. So everyone's like, what do you mean? You can't grow? Oh, you have to learn how to ground yourself in this moment with Habitachon. I trust that this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. And I think, according to my understanding of Emunah, Habitachon, and Ishtadlis, that I need a little bit more. If you want me to have more, if you're with me, great. And if not, also great. But first you have to lock into the step you're on before taking the step up. Because if you don't ground yourself with your left foot and you start taking one step up, if you're not grounded and you miss that step because you didn't get it, I'll see you at the bottom rung. Chutes and ladders. It's the worst, right? When you get that big one, you go all the way down. It's the worst.
Instead of have what you want, you're supposed to want what you have.
Yeah, we discussed this. Exactly. So bitachon is that. So non-bal bitachon could be upset even when it's good because it's not good enough. How? So what could ever be good enough for this person? Only if he makes $1 billion, he'll be okay. And guess what? When he makes the billion, we all know. But I could have made more. Those taxes. Those taxes. How am I going to get? Maybe I should buy an airplane. Maybe I should, buy a non-profit school or something. I could save, $300 million in taxes. We know this is not the way to live. It's 63 degrees. Ugh, if it would have been 65, it would have been a nice day. 63 is not good. The non-bal bitachon, nothing is good enough. So then you're living in a state of sadness and avel, mourning. Daiga is when you're worried about the future because now is not enough for the future. That's daigas. But when you get something and it's not enough, meaning not because the future's, it's not enough, I should have gotten more. You're mourning, you just made money. You just, whatever, you got a nice bill of health, but you're mourning the fact that it wasn't better. You destroyed what you had. So we live either we're daigas in the future, we're mourning what we have. Where are we living? Where are we? We're nowhere. How could you be calm and happy and controlled if you're not living anywhere? You're just tohu. The non-bal bitachon is subject to every wind of the world. He's not in control. Rarely does it go exactly as he wants. He doesn't even realize because he's not connected to his emotions. He's like, okay, yeah, that's it. Again, I didn't get what I wanted. And it's enough money to live. It's enough health to live. And he's living. But he's not satisfied with it, so he's not living that moment. It's very, you understand the words I'm saying, but you have to feel it. It's about feeling it. Everybody understands what I'm saying. But do you feel? He's never happy. Yeah. Let me just finish this paragraph. Ubera, let's just finish off. Ubera mipnei shehu katzba v'hi keneged ha'avosav v'tiv midosav v'chi amar ha'chacham mishlei Shlomo Melech kol yemei ani ra'im v'tov lev mishtet tam. When things go badly for him, now non-bal bitachon, when things go bad, this is going to be a problem. When things go bad for the non-bal bitachon, he is sad and anxious because he loathes the situation. Not just he's not happy with it. Okay, it's not as much money as I want, but whatever, I'll take it. No. He's loathes. He doesn't even want to be here. He'd rather have not gotten the money at all. It hurts him so much. He didn't get what he wanted. He'd rather have not got it at all. Which goes against his desires, his nature, his character traits. As the wise man King Solomon said, all the days of a poor man are bad. Poor man, very often in Chazal, ein ani ella bedas. An ani is not a poor person with money, because you could have a person who doesn't have money, but he's very, very happy, because he has das, he understands. So the person who doesn't have das, he doesn't have bitachon, all of his days are bad. But he who has a cheerful heart, doesn't say cheerful, not the money, doesn't say he's got all this. He has a cheerful heart, Leiv Tov, Habitachon, always has a feast. He's Mishta Tamid, it's always B'Simcha. So we have to slowly, just to end off, and we'll hear Moshe in a second. What?
7:15.
We have to try to understand the difference between Habitachon and not Habitachon. Spend a little bit during the day breathing and just feeling, where am I holding? At least just recognize that. I don't even want to say anything back there. At least just recognize that to even know who we are. Now that we'll continue next week.
When he's happy and she's not.
When he's happy and she's not, so he has
It's very
to.
common. You could walk around like, oh, Hashem, it's fine. We're trying. I'm in the game.
Why don't you feel okay? You should be happy.